Hey everyone, today I'm going to be talking and showing how I write cold emails that consistently get 50% at least positive reply rate. And I've actually talked about this previously as well, but in this video I'm going to show you how to write good copy that actually gets you a positive reply rate, and also how to actually maximize it as much as 50%, when the average is actually around 15 to 20% when you can achieve at least this 50. So basically, the old way of doing copywriting with cold emails is you say do X, Y, and Z to everyone, and this just makes your offer non-compelling. And obviously, you've probably heard this as well, but the better offer you have, the better results you'll get. And this is also extremely important in outbound, especially since you have like 80 words to show interest and to actually grab someone's interest and attention, basically. So, what do I mean with this? Well, you can actually frame your offer in two ways, basically. So you have these vitamin offers, and these are like the nice to have ones, which add some sort of value but aren't really necessary. They don't solve a painful problem, or just either not also a clear outcome. It's a lot about how you frame your offer, but it's also if you put your offer in the wrong lead list and to the wrong market, it will automatically be framed as a vitamin offer because if they don't want your offer, or if it's not an issue for the market, then you can't expect any real outcomes, basically. So what you want to have is having a painkiller offer, and these are like the must to have ones, and this is how you want your offer to be. And these offers add direct value and solve an urgent pain or problem, and these are necessary. And this is it's painful. So for example, let's say you offer like Google ads. A vitamin offer would look like this, like we run Google ads. But a painkiller offer would look like this: we will increase your sales by 30% using Google ads. There's a huge difference to this, because if someone gets an email and say like, yo John, we will run Google ads for you, it's like, what does that even mean? They won't receive anything. If you frame it as you will increase sales by 30% using Google ads, it's a clear outcome, which is increase sales by 30%. Makes it more painful, because if they don't talk to you guys, they will miss out on a 30% increase in sales, right? And here it's also by using Google Ads, which is the mechanism. And also something that is very important in terms of copying is actually having case studies as well. And I know that sometimes for my own copy, I haven't even had a clear offer, but I've had a case study framed as the offer, if that makes sense. So instead of saying like we do blah 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 blah, we do X for Y and Z time frames, like the standard or average or MOSI way, I've been reaching out and saying a case study, basically like, yo John, we just helped this other super similar company to you guys get 32 sales calls in 30 days. I think we can do the same for you. And then a simple call to action. So it's not always that you need a clear offer. You can also have a case study as the offer. And what I mean by saying that it doesn't have to be like a clear offer. Of course, it has to be clear in some ways. Like you can't, of course, not confuse the prospect. Your offer actually has to make sense. But sometimes I've just reached out with a case study and like framed it as the offer, basically. And in terms of outbound, yeah, like you have about 80 words sparking interest from a prospect. So you actually need to make it really, really good. And it's also like, if like nobody buys Google Ads just because they actually buy it to get a positive ROI. They buy Google Ads to double, triple, or even more, hopefully to triple their money, basically. So it's all about like how you frame your offer. And it's the same thing if you have a look at this upside down triangle starting from the bottom. And I don't want you guys to take this like religiously, because you don't want to reach out to every single person on your lead list to say like, yo Don, we can help you add 360k extra new ARR. Like it actually has to make sense in terms of your offer. And especially now, you need to frame it and explain a little bit about your unique mechanism. Because if you just say like you could add an extra 360k in revenue, the prospect will be super confused. They'll be like, "What? How? Like how?" They're super confused, and confused prospects never buy. So you also want to explain your offer in an obvious way that it makes sense, because you don't want to confuse them. But basically, how this upside down triangle works is if you start at the bottom, if I would offer cold email lead generation, for example, you could frame the offer as, we will send 600 emails a day for you, but that's super generic. It's a great example of what a vitamin offer is, because it doesn't have a clear outcome or anything like that. It's not specific. Nobody really knows why you would want to send 600 emails a day. But you could also frame it as we would book you 15 calls every month. So what we did here is just by taking this a step further. So for example, if we would send 600 emails every single day for a month, let's say, that might result in 15 calls every single month. You can also take it a step further again and thinking, well, how much would that mean in terms of clients? If you have an average closing rate of around like 20%, that would result in 3 new clients every single month. And you can just continue on, go even deeper. 3 new clients would probably mean around 30k every month for you guys, and new MRR. Of course, this depends on like the average deal size and stuff like that. This is just an example. And you can also say, like, if you add 30k new MRR every single month, you can also calculate what that would be in a year. So that would be 360k new ARR. But again, like, you don't want to reach out and say, yo, Don, we'll generate you 360k new ARR. You actually have to have a clear explanation to it. You can, of course, have this in your emails, but it just has to make sense to the prospect, especially because it's super easy to have like a standard Hormozy offer and frame it as as a Hormozy offer, basically. We'll do X, we will generate 306k new revenue by, or in 12 months or something like that. Like, you have to give a clear explanation, because then the prospect, it will make more sense in the prospect eyes. And another way of doing cold email copywriting is by not only having a clear like painkiller offer. As mentioned before, you could just frame the cold email as a case study, basically. So you start off first by saying like, hey John, opening line, we just helped this company. I think we can do the same. Like, just as an example I mentioned before, that's also something we've seen a lot of success with. So basically, it was a great example of if you'd send like 600 emails a day. We framed that from a vitamin offer to a clear painkiller offer to, we will add an extra 360k new ARR. But again, you want to add like a unique mechanism and actually explain it to your prospect so it actually makes sense. So the prospect goes like, oh, well, yeah, that actually makes sense. And yeah, that's just like the power of framing your offer the correct way. Although offer is not enough, like no personalization is exactly what used to work a year ago. You didn't even have to tell your messaging or offer or use up-to-date AI leverage tools such as like Clay, Smartlead, or Prospeo, or different cold email enrichment tools. And here's an example of what cold email would look like a year ago and why it wouldn't work today, and also the thoughts of the reader receiving it. Hi John, I hope this email finds you well. My name is Noah, and I'm reaching out from Leadmoves to introduce a solution that can significantly enhance your sales efforts. This is a super bad generic opening line. It's too long, it's super unnecessary, zero personality, I have no clue who you are or anything like that. At Leadmoves, we specialize in providing high quality targeted leads tailored to your business needs. Our innovative approach ensures that you connect with potential customers who are genuinely interested in what you offer. So when reading this, I would need, or I would think, why would I need this? Like, I do not care what services you provide. I only care what I get out of this. This is super long, and I just get pain in my eyes by looking at this long ass email. Here's how we can help you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 bullet points. That's way too long. Too many words as well. Here's how we can help you. Targeted lead generation. We use advanced algorithms and market analysis to identify and deliver leads that match your ideal customer profile. Cost-effective solutions. Our services are designed to maximize your ROI by delivering high-quality leads at competitive rates. Time saving by outsourcing your lead generation to us. You can focus more on closing deals and less on finding prospects. Expert support. Our team of experts is dedicated to ensuring your success with continued support and strategic insights. Super broad, super generic. This makes me super confused, and confusion will make me click away. Imagine the impact on your sales pipeline with consistent flow of quality leads. We believe that with Leadmoves, you can achieve remarkable growth and take your business to new heights. Super unnecessary. Like, just tell me specifically what I get out of this. I would love to schedule a quick call to discuss how our services can align with your business goals. Are you available for a 30-minute conversation this week? Of course, I love to waste 30 minutes of my time to give them to you so you can just sell and pitch your service to me. Like in cold emails, you don't want to reach out and you don't want to sell the call or ask for the call in the first email. It's super obvious that you're just out there reaching out to the prospect simply just for the person's money, just by asking for straight up a call. Remember, the mindset you need to have when doing cold emails is that you're actually reaching out in a valuable way. You're reaching out to potentially help the prospect solve their problem. And if there isn't a problem, you can't really help them. So you need to first find out if there actually is a problem. And of course, nobody wants to sit down 30 minutes with a random person to waste their time. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to the possibility of working together. Super unnecessary, and yeah, I can smell your commission breath. So basically the result of doing it this way is that you sound like every other email your prospect receives. The email doesn't make any sense. It's not personalized, it's not tailored. I have no clue what their offer is. It's not tailored to the industry, my company, my LinkedIn, anything. So no replies, a super dry inbox, a super dry calendar, no sales meetings, no clients or revenue, something that you would experience if you do it this way. Besides that, you will also get low open rates because it's super spammy, it's way too long, super unnecessary, and it screams spam words. And you'd get very little engagement, resulting in lots of missed opportunities. Besides this, you would actually just damage your domain reputation, regardless of what domain you're sending from. I know that a bunch of companies who I speak with are actually sending cold emails from their main domain, and this is something I hope you're not doing, because it hurts your main domain, and that's also like a natural part of the cold email lead generation game, that a domain will actually eventually get burned. It's a part of the game. It's kind of hard to avoid it, but you want to get similar domains to your main domain to protect your main domain when the time has come that the domain is actually getting burned, to save your brand reputation, basically, because you don't want to hurt it or ruin it. So you would get low reply rates, end up as spam, get low open rate, as just as the case here in this picture. You get like a 25% open rate, if even that, and a 0.9% reply rate is probably something you would see if you do it this way. But the new way of how we want to do this is that you actually craft your offer depending on the niche you're targeting that covers their specific needs, which also makes you sound like an expert in the field, and that you have a solution to their problem. It's also a lot about how you actually frame your offer. For example, sometimes when I write emails, I can say, we help people like you do blah, 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 blah. But of course, in a better way. And then I have like a without section, because sometimes I would actually get positive replies and meetings even by just having a nice cheeky little without section in the emails. And how this would look is, for example, we why can't I change the font? So for example, if we say like we just helped company X get the end result that people in the market actually wants, could be 32 sales calls in 30 days using Y. This is just a very quick example. So you can say a case study, how you do it, which is why this is your unique mechanism, basically. We just help company execute 30 sales calls in 30 days using Y. And then you can have this cheeky little without section, without common pain point, basically, without lifting a finger. Probably sounds better, without lifting a finger. Another pain point is probably overspending on paid ads, or result company execute sales cost 30 days using Y without lifting a finger, or spending overspending on paid ads, or relying on referrals, because that's something I see a ton of different marketing agencies do. They rely a ton of referrals. They also do some paid ads, but they want to get even more leads. So despite having the offer of booking 32 sales calls in 30 days using Y, which could be cold emails in this case, they might not even, they might already do this. They might already get sales calls through cold emails, but they do it themselves. So once they read the without section, without them actually lifting a finger, then they'd be like, huh, that might actually save me 40 hours every week or so. And that could actually be the reason for them responding to the email. If they just see this without section, they see the stuff that they want to avoid, they see the painful parts that they don't want to do any longer. And that could be the reason for them outsourcing the cold emailing. So the without section is a super good thing to have in your emails as well. That's something worth testing that I sometimes do. So you also want to have the messaging and the copy very specific to the industry that you're reaching out to, and obviously the copy, or I mean the company that you're reaching out to, because you actually want to know what the company does, how you solve the problem, what problem they are facing, and that you actually know the problem and how to solve it. Do you write one-to-one emails and scale using AI hyper-personalization with Clay and SmartLead? Just tailoring your messaging and offer based on the prospect's company and their needs. Also, make sure to add some spice to your email, make it unique. And yeah, believe it or not, even like CMOs, founders, owners, or just any other decision maker is a human being. Surprise, surprise. So what I mean with this is, you don't want to have 100% of your cold email AI written, because then it sounds robotic, even though it doesn't matter like how good you prompt AI. Like I use AI every single day, but I never use AI for 100% of my emails. I always make sure to add some personality to the email. It is something that when I have other companies write copy to, they have it they find it difficult to add their personality inside of their emails. They just reach out with an offer and a case study, that's it, which also sounds pretty generic just because of the tonality of the email. Like you actually want to have it charmy, I'd say. I try to make my emails kind of charmy. It can be a difficult task to do. Some great people I follow to get inspiration from is Josh Brown and John Bouchon. They're great at adding charm to your cold emails, and they talk a ton of cold email copywriting, which is super good and a valuable skill to learn. So also, if you manage to put a smile on their face, like you would naturally make them feel good. And if you make them happy and feel good, they naturally trust you and like you more, which means that you'll get a higher response rate. Plus, like nobody actually enjoys reading boring salesy emails. So if you're reaching out, you might as well make it good. And since you also want to maximize the amount of leads that you're getting from the lead list. So instead of getting one positive lead for every 300 emails you send, you could get one positive lead for every 200 emails sent, for example. You want to get as much possible from your lead list, of course, obviously. Here is an example of what a new email should look like or could look like. This is copy that I use for myself that actually resulted in a 4K retainer deal from only 500 emails sent, which is pretty good. So we start off by having an opening line. Hi John, looks like you were using influencer marketing on Instagram to promote fashion brands. So very specific. Actually, it's tailored. It's personalized according to what they're doing. It's a casual tone, not selling tone. It's not like, hi John, I hope you find this email well. None of that stuff. So we work closely with one-to-one with European influencer agencies as an extension for you / your sales team to add 15,900 new MRR in 30 days without doing any work themselves. This is super strong. It's specific. It's tailored, and yeah, it's very specific and personalized according to the company that we are reaching out to. And I've worked with other companies, so I actually know, like how it looks behind the scenes for a company, like how they're doing their client acquisition. And I also have the specifically part right here. So specifically how I think I could help you them. Specifically, I think it might help you predictably sign more content creators and influencers. And this was an example of what the company wanted to have as clients, basically. They wanted to have more content creators and influencers. And the thing with this specifically part is also that it's not like I know I can generate you tons of money. Like you don't want to reach out to a company and be, of course, want to be confident, but you can't overdo it. You don't want to reach out saying like we could add $1 million in the first 2 days of our campaigns. Like, first of all, you you don't even know you can help them. You don't know you'd be a fit even, and you want to be kind of upfront with that because that makes you sound. You make the entire email to sound and frame it as they are in control, and if they are in control of the conversation, they're more likely to respond positively to your emails. So that's the whole point of I'm like, I think it might help you. We're not saying like this will help you, John. We're saying like I think it might actually help you. And it also just lowers their zone of resistance as well. And then call to action, is it okay if I send you over a case study I've got run with the rate new UGC clients in 30 days? So good case study, specific as well. We got run with the rate new UGC clients, and we're sending this email to all the UGC clients, or I mean agencies, which is super specific. And yeah, we're not asking for a call, but we're just asking for their permission, so they are in charge, which means they're more likely to say yes, actually respond positively to our email. And yeah, we are like the entire tone here just says that we're reaching out to solve their potential problem that they might have, and we're not reaching out to straight up to sell to their face. We're reaching out to actually potentially solve their problem. I like to have these either way sections. I don't have it in every single email. I have it sometimes. It just in this case, it just was either way. Keep up the good work. Fingers crossed. It's cold email lowers your zone of resistance. It's kind of like, it's kind of funny, Like you don't want to overdo your charm, or you don't want to sound overly funny in a way. Like you just want to have a casual tone, and yeah, the thing with either part section, or I mean either way, it's that the reader doesn't feel as forced into this. Like, and the rest just adds like a compliment and some humor basically. And yeah, if you do this, it means you're actually solving their problem. So you get more replies, you're valuable to the market actually, and you get more sales calls, more clients, and obviously more revenue as a result. So instead of getting like 25% open rate, you could expect like a 94% open rate, and instead of getting like 0.9% reply rate, you can expect like a 19.8% reply rate. So basically, if you tailor and make your messaging specific to the market, you don't come out spammy. So you also save your deliverability, and you solve a problem that people are ready to pay for. And by using AI leveraged personalization, you're no longer losing money by writing outdated emails, but you're actually getting the best possible campaign results. Is this there? And yeah, there's less chance of actually ending up in the spam folder. So the next thing I'm going to talk about now is a bit about the lead list, because that has a huge part of it, of your campaigns performing and the copy. Like if you send a bad lead list, you can't expect good copy to perform if the targeting is totally off. So the old way of doing this is you get a lead list, but you don't really further enrich it basically. So you would just reach out to a company. You have these variables like the first name, their title, their company name, their employees. It's super basic. It's super vanilla basically. Like everyone who just gets a lead list from Apollo, this is exactly what they do. And you want to stand out from the crowd, right? So you have to enrich it further, personalize it, tailor it. You have to use AI, and I 100% recommend using Clay for this by further enriching. You can also find like email addresses. You can integrate CRMs, enrich people to find their LinkedIn, their company information. I mainly use it for AI personalization for the email copy. And this example, we've firstly started off by normalizing a company by removing weird signs a company might have in their name, such as LLC, to just make it look human written. We did this with AI. We also had specific analogies that we crafted. All of this is with AI. So we just gave AI like the company that we're reaching out to, their SEO description, and prompted it with our own description. that it then output to like, just as you do this, we do this, kind of connecting the two companies together to craft or create some like similarities basically. And we also have like tailored proposals, specifically I think it might help you, blah 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 blah, such as the email that I showed you before. Also tailored call to actions, like if we could help you reach, or it's all depending on what the company might want more of. So for example, a company might want more event signups, more signups to the email newsletter. Some might want more sales, more leads. It could be whatever. So we have tailored AI call to actions basically. So if we could help you do or get X, would that be helpful, for example? And we've also used ClayAgent, another scraper on Clay, to just get their, why is this so big? To get their, like how long they've been in the role for basically. That we, whoops, that we then can create an opening line in. So like you've led the marketing at company for a year and 2 months basically. We've done this thousands of times basically, fully automated. We just do the prompting and then Clay and AI handles the rest. And that's basically it. So if you follow these steps, you could expect a super high positive reply rate. So basically, you want to reach out to a good lead list with a relevant offer. You want to have good targeting. You want to have relevant case studies with a relevant offer. And if you do this, and you also do the outreach and messaging in a valuable way and helpful way instead of actually trying to sell them something, you can expect at least a 50% positive reply rate. And that was it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, and we'll talk soon. Thank you.